So one thing that's a fact about life that a lot of us don't stop to think about is that we are living on a ball of water with a little bit of land on it that's traveling thousands of miles an hour around a ball of fire. That's the earth and the sun, right? Obviously. We don't feel emotion. We don't feel that speed at all. It's like, we're just here. You know what I mean? We don't think about sometimes the fact, and a lot of us don't know the fact that the earth is literally in a Goldilocks zone, in the sense that it is just the right distance from the sun to allow life to exist. If we were any closer, we would burn up. If we were any further, the universe is extremely cold, we would freeze to death. And life would have never formed had we not been 92, 93 million miles away from the sun that we are. So we're on a ball of water, whirling around a ball of fire, at the perfect distance from that ball of fire for life to even exist on Earth. And then there are all these laws in play that allow elements over millions of billions of years to meld together and form life. On its own, right? Of course not. It's a God at play. There's a creator at play. I don't attribute that creator to any religion. I don't knock any religion, but at the same time, I don't feel like there's one true religion. There are many avenues to God, and people use whatever works for them to get there. But a lot of it has some unnecessary information in the way that I feel like puts a barrier between us and God. But the facts are, we live on a ball of water, traveling thousands of miles an hour around a ball of fire. That is a perfect distance from the sun, that ball of fire, to allow life to exist on Earth. And there are laws at play that allow the materials, the elements, the molecules to meld together and form what we call life on Earth. The ridiculous complexities of life on Earth. It's wild, right? So when I sit back and I think of those things, I tend to ask myself, well, why am I stressed out about this or that? Why am I allowing life or my desires, which is what I create, what I'm not getting, what I feel like I need more of, why am I allowing that to throw off my focus and my awareness that, hey, we living in a dream right now. We are living in a dream. Life is not as real as the physical likes to make us think. Our physical bodies. We're spiritual beings, obviously. We're the only animals that are aware of ourselves, that are aware of some of the knowledge of life. And I think the closer we get to God, the more aware we become. But it's very obvious that there is a difference between us and other animals and every other living being, right? We have a spirit being inside of us that elevates us over every other living creature that we know of. We can create, we can build, we can do the things that it's obvious some other being did for us, because there's no way that this all just came together on its own, because no one would be able to tell you that, hey, this car that I'm driving in, this phone that I'm speaking into, after an enormous explosion billions of years ago, all the pieces just came together and formed some of the most sophisticated technology known in the universe, as far as we know. Nobody can tell you that. Nobody can present an iPhone to you, or an iPad to you, or an airplane, or a Tesla, and say, hey, this all just came together on its own over a ridiculous time span. It's not happening. Somebody presents to you man-made technology, you're gonna notice somebody had their hand, they played it, that had their hand that played in that creation. Pause. But lot of times we forget that. A lot of times we don't know that. A lot of times we live our entire lives being so caught up in this physical realm that we miss the fact that we are spiritual beings that are capable of creating our own realities. Everything that I just spoke on, a car, a phone, an airplane, any piece of sophisticated technology that helps life, that propels life, makes life easier. All of those things started off in somebody's mind. They started off as a thought, as an idea, in someone's imagination, and became a real thing. If that's not the power of God, I don't know what is. Because that's literally turning nothing into something. And it happens all the time. Everything you can ever imagine that a man created started in his mind first. As nothing, and it became something. So we live in a ball of water, spinning and whirling thousands of miles an hour around a ball of fire at a perfect distance for life to exist, with laws at play that allow elements and molecules and materials to meld together and allow what we call life. And I'm caught up in my bullshit every day. No, we can't get caught up in the day-to-day because we are infinitely above the day-to-day. We are infinitely above the physical realm. If you think about it, we've already been here forever, right? I don't know about any matter on earth that's here today that wasn't here at the beginning of time. Matter doesn't disappear. Like when we die, what constitutes our physical makeup is still here. Everything that I'm made up of right now has been here since the beginning of the time, right? The same sun that we see every day, every human being that we never imagined. The greats, the Jesuses, the Muhammad's, the Buddhists, the Lao Tzus, the Gandhis, anybody great you can imagine. They saw the same sun we did. They lived on the same earth as we live. They were constituted of the same matter that we are. So we're forever, materially, obviously, right? But our spirits are damn sure here forever. And they damn sure are not tied to this physical world that we love to get lost in. There is a physical world, we are existing in it right now, but that is not our end all be all. That is not our origins. Why are we here? What is the purpose of my life and my existence? I feel like that's something as creators that we can figure out. But we have to tap into that spirit. We have to not get caught up in the day-to-day. We have to be mindful of the fact that this is a dream. Because none of this is going to come together by itself. None of this is going to work out and function on its own like nothing else complex does. There's creation evident in all things. So, if you haven't already, it's very important to realize that because of this ball of water and this ball of fire that this ball of water is traveling around, because we don't feel that motion, because we are the perfect distance from that fiery furnace that's just the right temperature to cook up life on earth, because of all those things, it's perfectly clear that, hey, life is a dream. And in my dreams, I can create, I can build, I can imagine what I want, if I'm a powerful enough dreamer. So it's so important to not forget that, and to not get caught up in the physical realm, and to stay connected and driven by the spiritual realm. Because that's how you get what you want out of life. That's how you get connected to God, to the Creator. And that's how you rise above so much of the physical drawbacks that we love to get caught up in. How you rise above stress, how you rise above fear, how you rise above doubt, worry, how you live in love, you live in joy. You have to be connected to that spiritual realm. The only way to do that is to realize that, hey, this is a dream. I am a spiritual being having a physical experience. And a lot of the BS, a lot of the wow shit that we feel like is important, the fitting in, the trying to be relatable, the trying not to stand out, things of that nature, more physical attachments that keep us away from where we actually want to be. We got to get away from that, and we got to attach to this spiritual existence, which is the fuel to everything. So tap into that. Tap into that, and let's not get caught up in this physical world, because it's just a product of the spiritual world. Let's not get caught up in the effect.